So hello again. Can I start by thanking you, Year 10s, and your parents and carers for their support in coming to our first tutor sessions. They've been incredibly well attended, with over 98% of students coming on site and meeting the tutors, and the majority of the others, those who couldn't make it, we've been able to facilitate them shielding others and with other reasons through Zoom or Teams using technology. So that's gone incredibly well. Tutors have been fantastic and really positive about those experiences and about getting that to the next step. So what are the next stages? So we want to do another walkthrough now and explain how we will move from those tutorials with form tutors into subject tutorials. So same as before, if you've been dropped off in the car park or you've come on site, we're going to come in exactly the same way as we did before, following the signs, indicated on the sign behind me, and directly down the same staircase that you've been arriving in for the last week and a bit now. So with more students arriving each day, up to 50 at a time, markings will be extended from those that we've been using up to now, up the staircases and along the top where the car park is. So it will be clearly labelled, and we'll ask you to distance once you're on site. We will be responsible for that social distancing. Just as in the previous explanation, we would like you to do that on your way to school, not to gather in groups outside of school, and to take all the precautions and follow guidance if you're on public transport or coming in other ways. So we now move round and into school. Door open as it has been throughout the last 2 weeks. Into school, sanitise hands, follow the instructions both sides, and just as we've been doing the last 2 weeks, the register will be taken here as it has been by Mr. Richards or someone else at the station here as you enter the building. So we'll know who's here and we'll start that registration process. So the difference now, similar to this point, is that you will now go to your designated room where you will be in a small group of 10 students to study up to 3 sessions per day. And so what we'll do is we'll outline what that will look like in the classroom. So from here, I sanitise, I'll have my individual sheets and information. If not, member of staff will be able to direct you, and I will be still following a one-way system. So if I'm on the NB or N-1 corridor, I'm straight down here into my classroom, and if I'm up the stairs, I'm up these first stairs immediately on the floor above and along, following the same directions, and down and exiting in exactly the same door and the same way we have been doing for the tutor meetings.
So I'm going to take you into a standard teaching room so you can see how it's been set up for these small group sessions. There's 10 desks set out in each room. 10 is the maximum number of students that there will ever be in a group. Sometimes it will be less than that, depending on the session that's running. All the desks are socially distanced from each other, and we have an area at the front of the room marked out for the teacher. So teachers will always say to students that they shouldn't cross the line. Well, now they really shouldn't, because this zone at the front is for the teacher. Some teachers will choose to teach from the desk, and they may have a screen set up to allow them to do that, and other equipment to enable them to display the lesson on the screen. Other teachers will want to move freely around this space and have access to all of the boards. Students will remain at their desk while they're in the room. If they're going to the toilet, it would be a case of one going at a time, and the teacher from the front, the students in their seats. And at the end of the session, they go out, and then that room is not then used again that day. So the rooms are then cleaned. There's a cleaning process which our buildings team use. It's a 3-part process where surfaces are wiped down, and then the room is misted with a biodisinfectant, which is then allowed to settle, and after a period of time those surfaces are then wiped, but that disinfectant leaves behind a residue that then protects that surface for an extended period of time. So that cleaning process is well in place, and the rooms are then ready to be used again the following day. The chairs and the desks and all the other surfaces will be cleaned in that way, and that's the same for all of our teaching rooms. And just so you can see that it's the same in other rooms as well, we've set aside our specialist accommodation. So this is an art room. It's been set up in a similar way, and computer rooms and some of the DT workshops will be done similarly. We've got the teacher zone and we've got the area for the students. So some will be classroom based, regular classrooms, and where there is specialist accommodation that's required, that will be there too, so that those lessons can be as close to normal as well as we can possibly do at this time. So as was explained in the letter that went home, we would encourage students to bring their own packed lunch in. What they certainly need to bring is water, a bottle of water, because we have no water coolers at the moment. As part of our risk assessment, all of those water coolers are closed off to students and to staff, so they will need their own drink. In terms of food, as I say, we encourage them to bring their own packed lunch. There is a very limited canteen service available in the form of a grab bag that would be ordered in the morning. It's a cold sandwich, drink and other bits and pieces, and they would be delivered ready for students to have at lunch break as a trolley service on their way out of the building for their lunchtime break.
Okay, so as we exit during each session, it will be a one-way system, clearly identified. In this case, I've come down from the floor above. I come down onto our N-1 floor, where I'll always exit in exactly the same way. Doors will be propped open from next week, and I'll exit straight out onto this area. If it's break time or lunch time, those 30-minute breaks, all students will be coming out in this direction and will be assembling and again asking you to be socially distanced on the tennis courts. No other students will be using that area, and so you will use the tennis courts at that point. And then between sessions, we will ask you to come all the way around, maintaining that one-way system. So using the markings and the track that you've been using this last 2 weeks in exactly the same way, off the tennis courts, all the way down along there and in at the same end that we've been doing. So along, lining up distance, and then again, Mr. Richards or another member of staff will welcome you in groups so that we can get you in straight into that next session and then repeat that process. Hopefully that's been useful. Obviously all communicated again in a letter. A reminder that we won't have cash available on site, so for those of you who do want to get one of those grab bags, please ask parents and carers to top up your account remotely, because there won't be the facility in school. Remember about the water, especially if it's warm like today, that you bring those things in. And again, you've been fantastic, and we're expecting nothing else as you come back into those tutorial sessions. Again, bringing it back a little bit more towards the normal and getting you ready for that full opening, which we hope to be in September or as soon as possible. Thank you.